I know as much as everybody else about what had happened.
I know as much as everybody else about what happened. You know a lot more. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel the need to tell us that. Otherwise, you would tell us what you know. Simply tell us what you know and don't tell us what you do not know. That's expected when somebody has some information. And there's absolutely no way on earth that you know only as much as a general public, because you know Malaya, and Malaya was deceptive. So being deceptive on somebody else's behalf is a little bit different than just being straight up deceptive on your own. You can always hide and say, well, I'm not going to get into this because Malaya needs privacy. Cheryl done this very well. And so obviously these two women, Haley and Cheryl, they are not on trial here. They are not persons of interest. So maybe they enjoy the spotlight a little bit too. And they don't have anything to lose here, really. I mean, yeah, maybe people will talk at them on Facebook and say, how can you defend somebody who knows blah, 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 blah. But that's no, I think as long as there is not a personal accusation, it is a lot easier to handle this type of publicity. And so I am looking at every single angle, and I believe both of them enjoy the public attention to some degree. And what is frightening in both cases is the lack of concern for Jack and Lily. So in Cheryl's case, I can tell she is not expecting Jack and Lily to be alive and to come back. And I believe she knows a lot more than the general public in terms of what had taken place. And what Malaya exactly told them, well, maybe everything, maybe she hinted, and maybe she had her own way of telling them, listen, and maybe they have a whatever form of communication. They known each other for a very long time, but they are, both of them, now especially Haley, wants to get back at Logan because how she talked Cheryl down. I believe they're upset. I believe it's a personal thing now. And we have Camp Malaya and Camp Daniel. And we need to look at both from the same angle, meaning we assume they know nothing, but we allow ourselves to let them talk us out of it. And they are. Both of them, both camps know a lot more than they are saying. So there's avoidance on both parts. So there's no need to take either part. Doesn't matter if, we like Logan less than Cheryl, but the bottom line is they're not giving us the information that they have.
Children, right? So
I know as much as everybody else. No, you don't. You know a lot more. What had happened with the children, not to the children. That's interesting. With the children. What are their names? Let's see if she shows us concern for the children.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
and see how she all of a sudden changes her tone and is no longer dismissive like she was with Cheryl, taking Logan's side, right? She realizes now, oh, okay, this is the real deal, and I'm having a gold mine here because these people are coming on, and now let them argue with each other or to each other or at each other on my channel. So she is now sucking up equally to this woman as she was to Logan.
Tragedy. And I think that
it's a tragedy. What are you talking about? You know the kids are no longer alive? Then say it. When a child is missing and you don't know what's going on, you don't say it's a tragedy. You don't talk about grief and sorrow. But look at her right now. She is adapting to the language of Camp Malaya. And it's especially Malaya's first and only interview where she talked about grief and sorrow. So these moderators usually know, they don't believe necessarily what they are saying, how they present themselves, and they flip flop all of the time, depending on who the guest is here. And that, of course, is said by Susan, who is running the show here. And now let's see what's going on.
Adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police
Also, stress. I mean, man, look at people who really miss their children and want answers. Look at the relentlessness, even of John Walsh. It was a long time ago, yes, but that case always stands out to me. Look at, what's his name? Dylan Ehlers, Jason Ehlers, their father. How he says, I can only be friends with people who help me be boots on the ground and continue to search for my son. But again, there I still don't understand. The dog hit on one spot and they didn't search that spot. It was in the water. So Jason, if you're listening, that spot, man, you should go back there and just dig in the water. I don't know if it's still there what the dog hit on. Maybe something is, well, it's too late probably, right? But when a dog hits at something, you want to not let go. The same way that the dog jumped into the pool, into the retention pond close to the house of Sebastian Rogers. You don't want to ignore this.
would figure out or could figure out what happened, and Lily and Jacques could be found, it would give people a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
Well, yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long. As family, like we're hurting over this. Like
We are hurting. Are the children hurting? Are you concerned about that? We. Her priority is only her family that's remaining. Jack and Lily, back burner.
a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like people.
Oh my God, are you these small-minded people? We don't care. There is misinformation and there is also disinformation, in my opinion, from the Darewood character. Disinformation is different than misinformation. Misinformation means you're misinformed and you pass something on as truth that isn't. And disinformation is intentionally misleading people, as has been done by that PI in the case of Sebastian Rogers. That was disinformation, intentionally sidetracking people with something to plant a seed in their minds to let go of the obvious.
Are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've seen.
Who cares about that? Your niece and your nephew is missing, you idiot. Oh, these small-minded people, man. And I
Quiet. Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Then stay quiet now about it. Show us concern about Jack and Lily.
Like I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right?
Here, yes, you make it about you. Again, this is about Jack and Lily.
But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know because people are starting to message and ask. But,
I wouldn't message you because you are sworn to silence. And there are people who have a higher level of intellect. They tend to talk a little bit more. It's easier for somebody to shut down who in general doesn't have a lot to say because it's something more it's something closer to home. And it aligns with the pattern a little bit more. And we rarely leave our patterns, because when we do, we give ourselves away.
I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
What is the subject? Jack and Lily? Ooh, silly me.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway.
The family altercation. Okay. Now it's all about the family.
Was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has.
I really don't give a crap, but I'm going to keep listening and see if something comes that I may be able to. You see? Logan. It's about Logan. So Logan shouted, not shout, sorry, but she shut Cheryl down, talked down to her, completely did the Mean Girls thing, right? Like, Logan has a high opinion about herself, man. And the thing about this is that, well, okay, talk to me, Logan. I'm assuming it's her.
Jesus that the bitch is back. Tell Jesus that the bitch is back.
Cool, I'll tell him.
The girl I used to be, 2017. Honestly, I hardly read.
Okay, thanks, Logan.
As everybody else about what had happened with the children, right? So
yeah. I mean, it's a tragedy. And I think that what adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police would figure out or could figure out what happened, and Lily and Jacques could be found, it would give people a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
It's to the point where it's 2 months too long as family. Like, we're hurting over this. Like, it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like, people are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've stayed quiet.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Like, I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right? But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know, because people are starting to message and ask. But, I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that, because we...
All right, there we go. Now we're getting to the point. Now we're getting to the reason you're calling in.
all know and have not said anything, but it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister.
My sister-in-law, her sister. So they were in the trailer, right?
Maleha's mother, my partner. And we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, damn, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needed to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley, sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going.
Is she long-winded or what? All this unnecessary rhetoric. Why don't you get to the point and ask a question? Without introducing your question for a very long time. Are you trying to keep us on For as long as possible, or what?
Crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby, Cheryl,
That voice. Oh my God.
like Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but
Wait, what? What?
Law.
So Shelby, Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, just to get it straight as to who we're talking about so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom.
Okay.
And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the drug.
Yeah. I mean, my first impression of Daniel was, that aligns with my personal first impression of him. And of course, some people think, yeah, that's just a rumor, but we need to keep these options open here. But with all of the police being around doing drugs, then, yeah, some people would do that. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous sounding, right? Because they had all the police dogs there and,
Driveway, and I'll be the one to say that because I got so
I'll be the one to say that because I got so
freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's
was found out. Who found it out? I want to know.
exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like.
Yeah, that's probably also where maybe Malaya, remember? Do you think he could have hurt the children? That's what Belinda said. And she said, I don't know, but he is acting. So maybe their viewpoint is you need to calm the hell down to let this go by, because you're bringing too much attention on not just yourself, but the household in general, how things have been. But now it's green light for them because the Daniel camp started attacking Malaya's side first. I believe Malaya and Daniel had a good script. No, not a good script, but they had a tight script, a script they both agreed on and both followed too well, which is why when two people say almost the exact same thing, in a case like this is unexpected because the mother would be expected to have a lot more emotions towards her biological children than the stepfather. That is absolutely expected. And even a mother is expected to have different emotions expressed than the biological father. So for their accounts to align so well, that is a huge red flag, people, right? But Daniel broke that because Daniel is upset that Malaya left. And so he started talking and talking and talking and talking. And next thing, he was so angry, his sadness turned to anger. Sadness that Malaya left him, and the anger, how the hell is she leaving me right now? So that particular anger has caused him to step over the line, to break out of the script and send her a message, so to speak. Hey, you are in it just like me. Whether or not that's true. But that's from his standpoint. I am not 100, he is not 100% guilty. Did you have anything to do with, or are you involved in the disappearance of the children? I wondered, or do you have anything to do with the disappearance? I 100% do not. He introduced the 100%. It was not a reliable denial, but he feels like he is not the only one responsible.
You're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody.
Oh, relaxing, huh? How do you relax? When was that? Was it on that Saturday or Friday? No, it was probably Friday, right? when the day or the day your children are missing and you are relaxing, listen to the language she chooses. They were relaxing.
He was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean?
We were not on drugs. So basically, the same way that Logan in her first life slammed the family, talking about how good her family is, right? And how bad Malaya's family is. Now she's doing the exact opposite. And they're saying enough is enough. Daniel has stepped over the line. Now Logan comes in. Now they are pointing the fingers at them, making them look bad. And there's zero concern for the children. The children are already gone. So both of them, or Cheryl and now Haley doing more. Haley is basically like, okay, Cheryl, you done well, but let me now take care of it. Let me talk about Daniel. And I hope this will escalate to the point where some of them will slip up and tell us a lot more.
But that's what the altercation was, because I was like, I confronted his family. It was actually me. And I said, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is that involved?
And I've said it before, his behavior is chaotic. He is a chaotic dude. That's why the outside looked like this. And Belinda said inside of the trailer, it was full of recyclables. There were 2 sheds in the back. One was completely empty. Why? What was in there before? That's what I'm interested in.
My sister broke down and she admitted that he's been on it for 2 years
That would be Malaya?
or so. And yeah, so
Okay, interesting with the 2 years. How old is Meadow now? 18 months, right? So, as I have said, 2 years or so. Once she was pregnant with Meadow, I believe that Daniel felt secure in the relationship on his terms, meaning he no longer had to pretend to be the nice guy, and he felt like, okay, I got her now. And the real Daniel showed up again. The real Daniel suddenly came out. And the real Daniel likes to do drugs. Not the Daniel she first met. That's whom she wanted Malaya to remember. But the Daniel that he always was. And the Daniel that came back once she got pregnant with Meadow.
so they all got very, very mad when that came about, and they all kind of said, you know what, we already knew that. Well, if you knew that, why the hell is there children in a home with somebody like that? Like,
Yeah, so I want to know more about the CPS case.
why aren't you protecting the kids that way? Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are some allegations that, of course, in mainstream media in Canada you cannot make. And there is no proof. This is all allegedly, but I'm taking it in. I want to know more.
That was a big piece that Logan and whoever else, this Darren guy that is related to Malaya's side, I mean, he's just spewing a bunch of stuff that's not 100%.
Okay, so 100%. So some of what he says is true?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
none of his stuff can be verified.
Yeah, and also the thing is, what are his intentions? That's the most important thing to me right now, to sidetrack, right?
So just remind me, when did this altercation break out? That was on the Saturday, right?
Yeah, that was just as Malaya was going down to the press conference. Yeah. So Malaya broke at the end of the driveway. She was crying, and I was like, like, what's going on? And she wouldn't talk. And I looked at her and I said, now's the time to talk. Like, get fucking talking. Like, what's
Good. So all of this talk about Malaya's mother completely controlling her, no, those were actually friends and other family members that are concerned that hadn't been in touch with her for a while. And Daniel is a chaotic dude, in my opinion, man. You know, and some of you have pointed it out, how his eyes looked, his pupils, how they looked. I didn't want to get into it yet, but because then I'm susceptible to rumors and I don't want them. But yeah, I saw it, and now we have somebody saying it.
Going on. And
Yeah.
she broke down, and that's what it came about, that he was doing that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that fueled the family fight that there was. And I mean, yes, Janie, or whatever her name was, did go at Cheryl. Logan was trying to fight everybody in the driveway.
Janie, I want to know more about her role here.
They kicked us off the property because we found out something that nobody was supposed to find out, right?
So why didn't you say anything back then? Why didn't Malaya talk? Why did she follow the script? Okay, so if it was Saturday afternoon, then she would have already given her interview, right? But here's the thing, Malaya has a lot to hide. Otherwise, and she knew exactly what had happened. That's why she didn't get into it, not until now. Because chaotic Daniel opened up his big trap because he wants Malaya back, and now his sadness turned to anger. And that's when he gives away so much of what actually took place.
Okay. So this was on the Saturday evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, just before Malaya had left. Malaya planned to, the baby was going to go with Logan. There was a lot of kind of give me the baby, I'm taking the baby, and then, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Because Logan thinks she can dominate Malaya. Because Logan and Daniel both view Malaya as very weak. Because he's always been able to keep her there, even though, and have a baby with him, even though they were living in a place that she really probably detested. And then, Janie's mom probably had a big problem with Lily because Lily's voice set off her dog. So she said there's a Yorkie. It was a Yorkie, but Belinda says a dog much bigger. The dog that she heard sounded like a really big dog. So Janie, probably was in her trailer many times, and the dog was going crazy because of Lily, her voice. And she kept coming into the room multiple times. Daniel, what did you do to her? When Jack was already out, what did you do to Lily? Did something happen to Jack? And Lily screamed uncontrollably more than ever, and that's when your mom came into the trailer. And Malaya had this look of surprise that mom was home, not home in her home, but was home in your home, Daniel. Because you're speaking from experiential memory. You're making it sound like it was happening on Friday morning. No, that was not Friday morning. That was the night before or the evening before. And the kids were ready for bed or in bed. And that's why they didn't have clothing on that they would be wearing outside. And that's why your 2 shirts are missing, baby boy.
You can come too. And it was kind of Malaya, I spoke to her and I was like, why don't you go with your mom? She wasn't made to go with her mom.
Okay. So Logan is the charge taker, the smart one, right? In that family. Okay, got it. No, you're coming with me. Logan is coming. You can come too, but I'm sorry, Meadow's coming with me.
As her sister, I could see what was right and what was wrong.
Okay, so they said, don't go with Logan because that whole family is chaotic and you need to get away from them. So I know you're not at the best terms with your mother, But now is the time to cut it out and stick with your family.
In that moment. And they were trying to persuade her to stay with the baby. And I told her that she really needs to sit and think what's best for her and the baby at this time. And she ended up going with her mom, and that was willingly. It was nobody talking her in to go.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. He, my partner, Daniel, my partner, right? My partner, Daniel, my partner. Okay. He didn't like, by the way, how she said it. But she was already sick of him. She was already, this is rock bottom. I'm not going to. And no, I don't think Malaya did drugs. I don't think so. Maybe she tried it. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think Daniel is the chaotic one.
I'm just like, you have a home, you'll be treated right, there'll be.
And by the way, this is because of the accusation. She is not introducing the claim that Daniel, that Malaya's mom ordered her to come. This is her replying, her being defensive, rightfully defensive, based on the accusations that are made. That she is just a candle in the wind and her mother basically made her do something she didn't really want to do. You'll be treated right.
So there'll be love, like, you know what I mean?
Right. An orderly household. Get out of the chaos now. So apparently that's why also Daniel introduced, I offered a drug test. Really? Really? Why are you not allowed to see your daughter unless it's supervised and arranged? And yes, from what I understand, Meadow is now a CPS. Neither has them, but Malaya can see Meadow anytime she wants to.
I do gotta jump off. I have some things to do, but I'll catch you later if that's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Haley.
No problem.
All right, people. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. I'm Mike the Man, and I'll be back soon.